Welcome to this yoga class. We are filming at the beginning of the year, so we're welcoming in a new year. And regardless of when you're watching this, this is just an opportunity for you to welcome in this moment. Every opportunity, every day is an opportunity to welcome in newness, freshness, and be intentional about how you want to move forward. So with that, if you can float your eyes closed or find a soft gaze down towards the floor, find a comfortable seat, or you can lay down and start to just settle into this moment. And welcome in your breath, really fill up, and then squeeze all of the air out. Might be nice for you to introduce a count, maybe 4 or 5 as you breathe in. And matching that count to 4 or 5 as you breathe out. As you inhale, really feeling the air filling you up, lifting up. As you breathe out, settle the air back down to the ground. I'll invite you just to be present with your breath, with this moment, and noticing anything that comes up for you without judgment. As you're ready to begin to introduce some movement, come up to a seat if you're not already there. And as you inhale, just lift your chest slightly, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, round your spine. Go back and forth a few times in the seated cat and cow. And you can start to make your movements a bit bigger, a bit more exaggerated. Maybe add the arms in, reaching forward as you round your spine. Pull your belly towards your spine. And then inhale, reach up and over. Send your hands behind you. Open your heart, look up. Exhale, round and reach. Inhale, up and over. Good, then come back to center. Take your right hand to your side and reach your left fingertips up and over. Pull your shoulder down your spine and twist your chest slightly open to lift towards the ceiling. Return to center and then do that same thing on the other side. Right hand down, left fingertips reach up and over towards the side. Really work to plant that left hip down on the mat and breathe into your side lungs. Return to center. Let's do that once more on each side. Reach and extend. Breathe into the right side of your body. Back through center and reach up and over. Now return to center. Let's take a gentle twist. Bring your right hand to your left knee, and then take your left fingertips, plant them just outside of your spine, and really reach, lift the crown of your head. Come back through center, twist to the other side. Right fingertips at your tailbone and lift. Gaze flows gently over your right shoulder. Now return to center. Set up for a tabletop position. So stack your joints so that your hips are above your knees, shoulders are above your wrists. You can always have blocks under your hands if that helps to relieve some of the pressure on your wrists, if that feels more comfortable. Give it a try. If not, regular tabletop. And then extend your right leg out behind you, tuck your toes, and just a gentle shift back and forth, stretching through the back of your right leg. Just starting to warm up some of those muscles. And then drop your heel to the center line, kickstand your left foot out behind you, and reach your fingertips up to the ceiling. Work to open your heart, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then simultaneously extend through the right fingertips. Now you might stay here, or you might work to lift your right leg off the ground. Right foot lifts. And then one extra step is you can work to take your right hand to your right foot and kick into your hand, creating a gentle back bend. Open your heart. Keep reaching the crown of your head towards the front of the mat. And then without flinging, gently release everything back to the ground. Rotate your hand back to the mat and lower your right knee down to the mat, returning to your table. Let's take one round of cat and cow. Drop your chest, look up as you inhale. Exhale, round the spine, push the floor away. Come back through center, create a long line from the crown of the head to your hips, and then send your left leg behind you, tuck your toes, and rock back and forth gently a couple of times, just creating that gentle stretch through the back of your left leg. Drop your heel back to the center line and kickstand your right foot out behind you. Reach up and over for your modified side plank. Open your chest. Your gaze can lift slightly. And if you stay here, press into the outer edge of your left foot. If you did so on the other side, you can lift that foot instead. Keep engaging your core. And then maybe reach back for your left foot, kick into your hand, open your heart, creating a nice back bend. Gently release, come all the way down to your table. And then tuck your toes, lift up into your first downward facing dog. So pressing into the heels of the hands, the knuckles of your fingers. Lift your hips high, and then draw your heels down to the ground. Again, hands on a block can be a nice option here. And if it feels good to you, you could bend one knee and then the other, or just use your breath to enhance the shape. Finding stillness and maybe making some small adjustments as you breathe in and out. On your next inhale, we'll lift the right leg up to the sky. And then on your exhale, bring your foot in between your hands, drop your back knee, tent your fingers, and draw the crown of your head forward as you extend your spine long. And then bring your left foot up to meet the right, halfway lift long spine. Exhale, fold forward. Reach all the way up, moving slowly and intentionally, really pressing into the feet as you lift. Reach the fingertips up to the ceiling, and then exhale, hands to your heart center. We've arrived in our mountain pose, so really stand tall and proud like a mountain. Draw your shoulders down your spine, and then as you inhale, reach up. And grab your left wrist and bend over to the right. Open your chest up towards the ceiling. Return to center and just bend over to the right this time. Hips shed out to the other side. Inhale, come back through center. Slight back bend at the top and then fold forward. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine, and then step your right foot back. Lower your knee, reach forward. Plant your left foot at the back of the mat, lift up into downward facing dog. Stay here or find a vinyasa flow by coming forward into high plank. You can lower your knees or keep them lifted. And keeping your elbows in by your side, slowly start to draw all the way down to the mat. Lift up into your cobra. Draw your shoulders down and open your heart. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here. Return to your breath and your intention. Welcoming your breath and welcoming any sensations that may be showing up for you so far. After your third exhale, we'll lift the left foot up to the ceiling. Bring your foot in between your hands and drop your back right knee down. Reach the crown of your head forward, lengthen your spine, and step your right foot up to meet the left. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine long. Exhale and fold. And then inhale, lift all the way up. Hands settle at your heart center. Take a couple deep breaths here. Just land here. Be sturdy and steady. Inhale, reach up. And we'll bend over to the left. Back through center. And bend over to the right. And return to center. And if you'd like to take another back bend, an option is to interlace your hands at your lower back. Start to slide your hands down the backs of your legs and open your heart. Come back to standing and then extending your spine long. Start to hinge from your hips, fold forward. If you still have the hands, you can find a shoulder opener in this forward fold. Release the bind if you have it. Lower your hands down to the mat. And then step your left foot back. Step your right foot back, downward dog. And if you'd like, find a Vinyasa flow. You can do the same thing that you did the first time, or if you're ready for it, come down through Chaturanga, low plank. Lift up into upward facing dog. Hands and the tops of the feet are the only thing that touch the mat. And then roll over your toes, come back, return to your downward facing dog. And breathe here. Good, we'll move into Warrior One. To set up for Warrior One, first place your left foot down at a 45-degree angle at the back of the mat, and then step your right foot forward. Find the stability and equal weight distribution through both of your feet, and really press weight into the back outer edge of your left foot. Bend deeply into your front right foot. And then drop your left hip down so that it's in line with the right. As you feel sturdy, start to reach your fingertips up. Lift your upper body tall. Reach your spine long. Draw your shoulders down. And then interlace your hands and place them behind your head. So elbows are reaching out to the sides. Keep drawing your shoulders down your back and press the back of your head into your hands to lift the crown of your head high. Back of your skull stacks above your spine. And then see if you can continue bending deeply into your front leg. One more deep breath. Stand tall like a proud warrior. And then inhale, reach your fingertips up to the ceiling. Let's flow a little bit with our arms. As you exhale, bring your hands down to your heart in a prayer position. As you inhale, open your arms wide like you're parting curtains, opening up and welcoming the world. As you exhale, send your fingertips back behind you. Inhale, reach them all the way up. Keep drawing your shoulders down your back. Twice more like that. Exhale, lower your hands down. Inhale, open up. Open your heart as you send your fingertips back. Inhale, reach up. Last time, move with your breath. And then reach your fingertips up to the ceiling. This time we'll reach open into Warrior Two. So rotate your back foot so that's at a 90-degree angle from the back of the mat, parallel to the back of the mat. Shoulders down your spine. Lift your fingertips up, wrists slightly higher than your shoulders. And tuck your right hip underneath so that your hips are open and in line. And then gaze drifts over your front right fingertips. Sink a little bit deeper. And then on your inhale, reach up and back for peaceful warrior. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then inhale, straighten your front leg. Just give it a little bit of a break. You've been working that quad. Keep reaching towards the back of the room in your straight leg, peaceful warrior. And now bend back into your front leg. Bring your right elbow down to your thigh and reach up and over for side angle. And twist your chest slightly up to the ceiling. Draw your left shoulder down towards your right shoulder. And feel that long line of energy from your left outer foot to your left fingertips. Feel it reaching and extending. And then on your next exhale, bring your left hand down to the inside of your right foot. Reach your right fingertips up and over for a revolved lunge. Reach the crown of your head towards the front of the mat. One more deep breath. Feel the extension. And then as you exhale, lower your right hand down. Step back. Find a flow if you would like it. You can always hang out in a downward dog, or you can come out of it entirely, maybe find a child's pose or come to a seat if you need a break. If you're ready to continue on, we'll step the left foot forward, drop your right foot back to a 45-degree angle, and press weight into the outer edge of your right foot. Once you feel sturdy and grounded in both of your feet, reach your fingertips forward and up, coming into your warrior one. Notice the distribution of weight in both of your feet and work to pull your right hip forward. And then interlace your fingertips, place them at the back of your head. Keep drawing your shoulders down your spine, open your elbows towards the side and sink deeply into your front leg. Press the back of your head into your hands and reach the crown of your head up. Extend your spine long. Reach, reach, reach. And then keeping that extension that you found in your head and in your spine, reach your fingertips up. As you exhale, lower them down to your heart center. Inhale, open those curtains. And exhale, send your fingertips back, reach your heart forward. Twice more, inhale. Exhale, lower heart center. Inhale, open, welcome the world. Exhale back. Inhale, reach. One last time. And then you'll reach your fingertips up on an inhale. On an exhale, open out into your warrior two. Adjust your back foot. Lift your wrists slightly higher than your shoulders. And energetically reach towards the front and the back of your mat. Sink deeply into your front leg. And then reach back for your peaceful warrior. On an inhale, straighten your front leg. Keep reaching your left fingertips back to the back of the mat. Find that long extension through the left side of your body. And then re-bend into your front leg. Left elbow to your thigh and reach your right fingertips up and over. Breathe into the side body. Feel the length. Feel the extension, and do so without dumping into your left side body. So if you notice yourself kind of coming down, work to rotate out if you can. One more deep breath and reach. Exhale, bring your right hand down to the inside of your left foot. Reach your left fingertips up. Lift your right hip so that it's in line with the left if it's not already. Pull your shoulder blades together and reach tall. And then exhale, lower your left hand down. Step your left foot back. Downward facing dog. Maybe find a flow, maybe skip it. Do whatever makes you feel happy, makes your body feel good. That's what this is all about. Good. This time we'll reach the right foot up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring it forward, step it in between your hands, and drop your left foot down, setting up for another warrior one, just a different way to get into it this time. Take your hands behind your back, interlace them at your low back, and then start to extend your spine long and lower down to the inside of your right leg. Humble warrior. Keep engaging your core and extending your spine long. One more deep breath. We're going to go into a variation of Warrior 3 next. I'm going to give you a couple of options. And the first is to release your hands, find your blocks or find the ground, and lift up into Warrior 3 in this grounded variation. The second option is from your humble warrior, reach your spine long, lift your chest, lift your back heel, and then shift weight into your front leg. Lift all the way up and come into, it's called flying bird. So your back heel will be slightly higher than your hips, and then your chest is going to open, kind of like a baby cobra. Wherever you are, we'll hold for another 3, 2, and 1. Release your hands if they're not already there, and then open out into a half moon. So right hand down, left fingertips lift. You could use a block here. And again, work to pull your shoulder blades together. Open your heart. Lift your back leg high so that it's about parallel to the mat. And find that long extension from the crown of your head to your left heel. One more deep breath as you inhale, really extend long. And then exhale, lower down into a forward fold. Hang here for just a moment. You might want to grab opposite elbows. And just hanging heavy. And then press into your feet. Start to lift all the way up. And hands settle at your heart center. So now balancing on the left foot, give your right foot a little bit of a break. You're going to take your right knee. And you can just place your hands around it, holding your knee in place. Or if you'd like, you can have your fingertips reaching high, flex your toes, and keep reaching your right knee up so that it's in line with the right hip. Now you might stay here. This is already a lot. If you want to, you can add in some arms. So as you exhale, cactus your arms and open your chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, lift. It's a lot harder than it looks. Exhale and open. Inhale, reach tall. And then exhale, hinge forward, warrior 3. Bend into your front leg, lower your back foot down. Reach up into a crescent lunge. And then lower both hands to either side of your left foot. Step your left foot all the way up into a 3-legged dog, and then lower down. Take your flow if it's calling to you, and downward facing dog. A cleansing breath might feel really good here. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. And now moving on to the other side, inhale, lift your left foot up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring it forward. Set up for your warrior 1 on the left. Drop your back right foot down at a 45-degree angle. And reach up, stand tall, and sink low in your legs. Interlace your hands at your lower back. Pull your arms away from you to open your chest. Lengthen your spine, and then lower your upper body to the inside of your left leg, humble warrior. Keep engaging your core. Keep reaching the crown of your head forward. Now decide where you want to go on this side. It could be the same thing you did on the other side, could be slightly different. So if you're working on that flying bird, lift your back heel, keep your hands as they are, and then shift your weight to the front leg. Lift up, open your heart, and hinge forward. And you can always give it a try and decide it's not right for you. Move on to a grounded variation or any other variation that you know and like. Great, and then prepare for your half moon, left side, left hand diagonal to your left foot. Reach your right fingertips up, stack your right hip on top of the left, and flex your toes towards your face. Keep extending long as you breathe, allowing the breath to move in and out of you fluidly, supporting you in these challenging poses. And then exhale, lower everything down to the ground. Hang heavy in your forward fold. If you want to find a different variation, maybe you wrap your arms around your backs of your legs, or grab your big toes with your index and your pointer fingers. And see if you can find a balance of ease and effort. And release your hands wherever they are. Inhale, reach all the way up to the ceiling. And then exhale, hands to your heart center. We'll shift into balancing on the right side this time. So your left knee will lift up. You can use your hands to hold it in place. That might be a nice way to support yourself in this balance. Or you can use your thigh strength to keep your leg lifted. Reach your fingertips up. And then maybe adding in those arms, exhaling as you cactus open your heart. Inhale, lift, reach tall. Exhale down. Inhale up. Last time. And then as you reach your fingertips up, start to hinge forward, reaching your left leg back to the back of the mat. Warrior 3. Bend into your front knee and then lower your back foot down. Reach up into your crescent. Open your heart, slight back bend, and then lower your hands down to the mat. Lift your right leg up to the ceiling and then lower it all the way down. Last opportunity for a Vinyasa flow. If you want it, come forward into plank or just hang out for a few moments in downward facing dog. Good, and then when you're ready to go there, start to walk your hands to the back of the mat, forward fold at the back. Heel toe your feet out to the edges of the mat with your toes facing outward at about a 45-degree angle. Lower your hips down and arrive in Malasana. So in Malasana, there are lots of different ways that the shape can look depending on your body and your bone structure. So some people have hips that reach almost down to the ground. You might find that your hips are a little higher. If that's the case, it could feel good to have a block underneath your hips. And you can just hang out here if you like. Or you might reach your right fingertips to the outside, reach your left fingertips up. Open your heart. Declare your presence in the world. Inhale, return to center. Take that to the other side, left fingertips out, right fingertips lift. We'll do that again. You can do the same version, or if you want and you're ready for it, reach your fingertips back and around, find a bind, and only do so if it feels supportive, if it helps you feel like you're really getting a benefit from the shape. If it feels like straining or pushing in any way, just back out slightly. Do what feels good to you. Every option is just an option. There's no hierarchy of what's better or worse. Come back through center. And then plant your hands down, lift your hips, walk your feet a little bit wider apart. Again, toes face out to a 45-degree angle. And then lower your hips once more, goddess pose, lift up. Tuck your tailbone here, pull your belly into your spine so that you have a nice long spine. Pull your shoulders up on an inhale and then back and down on an exhale. And see if you can sink your hips a little bit lower. Press into the outer edges of your feet. Notice if the arch in your foot lifts slightly, and notice if that helps support your knees coming out slightly or finding an outer rotation of your inner thighs. Inhale, sink down, and then you can open your arms out into goddess arms. Bring your hands to the inside of your thighs, just above your knees. Drop your right shoulder down, gaze over your left shoulder. Come back through center, lower your left shoulder down. Return to center, lift all the way up, and then walk to the center of your mat. Lower your hips down, and then take your hands with your fingertips facing towards the back of the mat. Start to walk your hands back. Lift your chest, open your heart. You might find a shoulder stretch here. If it doesn't feel like you're getting enough of a stretch, then you can scoot your hips a little bit further down the mat. So just go to the point that feels good to you. Good, and then lift out the same way that you came in. Walk your hands back towards your hips, and then rotate so that your fingers are facing towards your hips. Plant your feet down, lift your hips, reverse table. Spread your shoulder blades wide. Lift your hips, see if you can lift them as high as your knees. And then you can keep your head lifted here if it feels good. And if it feels safe to do so, you can drop your head back and look back behind you. One more deep breath. Exhale, lower all the way down. Take your hands to the backs of your thighs. Lift your spine long. Prepare for boat pose. Lots of options here. You can keep your toes down on the mat, keeping your belly lifted. This is still a lot of core activity here. If you want a little bit more, you can lift your toes up off the mat. And for another option, extend your legs long. Hands can stay right as they are. You can reach them towards your toes. Maybe even up and overhead. If at any point you start to notice your spine dumping down, come back to the last option. And we'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower all the way down, canoe or low boat. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way back up to seated. And then take your right foot, bring it close to your left hip. Ensure that both of your hips are planted firmly down in the mat. If one seems to be popping up, just adjust your feet and adjust your hips as necessary. Take your left foot, cross it over, and plant your foot to the outside of your right leg. If this is way too much, please extend your right leg long in front of you. You'll get the exact same benefit of the shape in this option. So just do what feels good. And then you'll take your left hand behind you, almost like a second spine, to lift the crown of your head up high, reach your right fingertips up, and then twist over to the left. You can either do so by hugging your lifted knee, or you could take your elbow to the outside, lift tall, and twist. And again, the breath is a really useful tool here. You can use the inhale to extend and lift, lengthen. And you can use the exhale to settle deeply into the shape. One more breath in. Exhale, twist as deeply as you can. And then come back through center. Take your top leg, send it back and around so that your knee lands just below your right foot. And then take your hands to the outside of your right leg, lift the crown of your head tall and twist over to the right. Good, now come back through center and we'll set up for pigeon pose on the right. So your right knee is already forward. Just make any adjustments to that leg. Bring your foot in close to your hip and send your back leg long. And before you dump down into pigeon, ensure that both of your legs are where you want them to be. Ensure that your hips are in line with each other. And if that means that your hips lift a little bit further away from the mat, that's totally fine. A block or a blanket or a cushion might be a really nice way to feel supported and grounded. So just place that under your hip if you'd like it. And then reach your spine long. So rather than just dumping down, we're going to be really intentional about setting up so that you get the optimal relaxation and benefit from the shape. When you're ready, start to walk your fingertips forward and then lower your body down on the ground. Notice if there's any pinching or tightness, that's a sign to come back and lift back up. And as you settle into this shape, return to your deep breathing. Notice what comes up as you breathe deeply and as you settle into stillness. And just welcome it in. Take your time. You're always welcome to stay longer here if you'd like. Just pause the video. And then you can start to walk your hands back towards your hips. Shift your weight over to your right hip and just come back to center. We'll do that whole thing on the other side. So this time your left foot will come towards your right hip. Your right foot will come up and around. Make any adjustments that are necessary to ensure that both of your hips are planting even weight into the mat. Right hand comes behind you, planted just at your lower back. Inhale, reach your left fingertips up. And as you exhale, cross over to the right. And your gaze might just fall over your right shoulder. On the exhale, send air down to the ground. Feel settled and grounded. And as you inhale, lift tall. Exhale, twist deeply. One more deep breath in and out. And gently unwind. Lift your right leg up and off. Circle your knee so that it lands just below your left foot, and then take your hands to the outside of your left thigh. Lift your right hip up off the mat slightly. Elongate your spine. Draw your shoulders down. Lift the crown of your head and twist. And return to center. Set up to fine pigeon on the left. So adjust your front leg, send your back leg back behind you. You might notice this variation on this side is slightly different than the other, or might be the same, but just honor where your body is and make any adjustments necessary that would help you settle into the full variation for you in this shape. So once you feel like your legs are settled in, reach your spine long and start to walk your fingertips forward until you find that place of release. If you have your blocks handy and you think it would be helpful, you can bring a block underneath your forehead. You can also have your hands under your forehead. You can feel free to stay here as long as you like. When you're ready, start to lift up, walk your hands towards your hips, and swing your back leg forward. And we'll wrap up with a simple inversion, waterfall or hips on a block. So for waterfall, you'll just have your spine flat down on the mat. And press your hands into the mat, flex your toes towards your face. You can also lift your hips up, plant the block underneath your hips, just for a slightly more elevated version of this shape. And just let the yoga do the work. Reversing blood flow, easing the body after a lot of effort. And when you feel ready, slowly, gently start to lower your feet all the way down to the mat. Lift your hips up and remove the block. If there are any last shapes or any movements that your body is craving, just check in, see what you need. And if you're ready to end this practice, I invite you to lower all the way down into Shavasana. Take up space in the mat and just find the most relaxing, most easeful shape that you can. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Sigh it out through your mouth. One more time in. And as you release, find a release in your whole body. Let go of any tension that you're holding on to. And allow yourself to rest for as long as you'd like. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.